welcome to episode number 35 of the PISCOPOD. I am your host, Sasha. Thanks for tuning in. We're coming to you from Sin City Sound Recording Studios, nestled in the foothills of the Alberta Rockies. It's springtime in the Rockies, folks. We are getting our usual mix of shit weather. Snowing, warm, snow, warm, rain, snow, warm. You know how it is if you live in Alberta. Dogs are, as I said last week, in various stages of moisture retention, constantly muddy. Bath season is soon upon us, as soon as things dry up. A bit chilly today on this Sunday, and I hope you heathens made it to church today for Palm Sunday. Got to get good with God because we are in crazy times indeed. Where do you want to start? Good old Israel had, or as you know, as affectionately known as God's chosen people, they have closed down the Christian churches and holy sites in Jerusalem the week before Easter, arresting people that want to go and pray when they themselves are not graping children and killing babies and women. They are exercising their right to be reprehensible human beings on the world stage. My feed on Facebook is littered with pro-Israel AIPAC messages. I don't know where the hell these come from. I imagine it's the content that I'm sharing. They are doubling down on the pro-Israel lobby propaganda in order to, to convert me. But the more I see the shit that's going on and the shit that they're doing, the further that I stray away from supporting the government of Israel by any metric, to be honest with you. They are complaining about Iran targeting civilian sites, which is a joke, seeing what was done by them in Gaza. Literally leveled the place. Women, children, hospitals, churches, you name it, they bombed it. But you kill a couple of Israelis in Tel Aviv, and the world needs to the world needs to go into mourning. Basically, I'm sick of it. Oil hits $115 a barrel. So I don't know. Are you tired of winning yet? Because I sure am. Skyrocketing food costs as usual. Gasoline prices are soaring. The propaganda machine on both the Israeli side and the U.S. side is in full force with both Trump and Caroline Leavitt talking about how they've obliterated the military in Iran. Yet the videos that are coming from the region, they keep showing Iran raining missiles down on the Jewish people. And I chuckle, not that it's funny. I chuckle because it's like, you don't know what the fuck to believe anymore these days. All I know is that I have my doubts that an empire that's a fairly strong and victorious empire, if you go down the rabbit hole and go into the history books of the Iranian people, they are no slouch when it comes to fighting off invaders. The Strait of Hormuz is still closed. Allies, and I use the word lightly, allies are coming in apparently to help open the strait. But the damage is done, let's face it. The only place that oil is going is prices are going to continue to go up for the foreseeable future. Everything is affected by these raised oil prices, from heating your home to filling your car, trucking. I have friends in the trucking industry. They are sharing horror stories. Um, Loads from point A to point B have almost doubled in some cases. And you know that these big corporations, they're not going to eat that. They're going to pass that down to people like you and me, and we're going to feel that in our pocketbooks. Like I said, the gas prices are going up. I think we're at $1.80 something here in Cowtown. It sucks. Whether like I hardly drive my truck. I'm usually in my SUV because it's a 6-cylinder. We take Tanya's car around lots. It's also a 6-cylinder, a lot more economic than the SUV. But we basically have to do that. We have to, stretch our dollar. Your average trip to the grocery store nowadays is, $300-400. We hit the Costco the other day. It was like $1,000, right? So, and it isn't going down anytime soon. Good old Mark Carney. He's attending $1,750 a plate dinners where he's heralding floor crossers like that fish head that got voted in as a conservative, and then allegedly he has ties to China, and they think that China is kind of greasing the wheels for him, and he has since crossed the floor to the Liberal government, and he is doing a $1,750 a plate dinner that he's hosting, and it's sold out apparently. So I guess there's lots of people that have way more money than me or anybody that I know anyway. Like I said, the holy sites in Israel are closed. We are entering Holy Week, and I don't know what to tell you, folks. All I can tell you is that my perspective on this is I'm tired of turning the other cheek. My pastor told me that I should seek acceptance, knowing that the Bible says that we win in the end, and I get that. He says, do not be afraid. He's not asking me that. He says it's a commandment from God. It says, do not be afraid. And I have read that in the Bible, and I'll be honest with you, I'm not afraid. But at the same time, I am not cool about turning the other cheek anymore. These monsters that are lording over us, whether it's municipal or whether it's federal or whether it's international, I think that it's time that we organize and do something about it. Voting isn't going to help, as is clearly seen here in Canada. The you can vote for a candidate because he tells you, oh yeah, I'm a conservative and I'm running on family values and traditional family values and low taxes and low government involvement in your life. And then 3 months down the road, they just flip-flop for whatever reason. Bribery is generally the reason. But then they flip-flop, and next thing you know, they're working for the enemy. I've said this on a previous episode that Carney is going to probably be the first Canadian prime minister that wasn't elected by the people, and he's going to win a majority government by bribing floor crossers. April 1st here in Canada, there's a 23% carbon tax increase that's slated for a couple days down the road. And what's funny about that is our southern neighbor, the United States, and their southern neighbor, Mexico, they don't pay any carbon tax. So that 23% increase on our end, think about it logically. What's that really going to solve? You think it's going to do anything for the environment? They're worried about the environment, yet they're flying sorties with jet fighters and launching $3 million missiles, in the Middle East. But yeah, a 23% carbon tax hike here in Canada is going to make a huge difference it's going to make a huge difference for the environment. It's just nonsensical bullshit that they're not trying to sell us at this point anymore. They're cramming it down our throats, really, at this point. And between the closing of the holy sites, Bill C-9 here in Canada has passed. So effectively, it preaching the Bible, Deuteronomy, things like that is now considered hate speech. But if you are from a Middle Eastern country and you block streets to pray to Allah and you chant death to Canada and death to America, that's okay still, folks. So nothing to worry about there. The Muslims, they are now complaining about people's dogs. So that's a thing that I've heard. Dogs in their religion are considered haram, which is dirty or filthy or whatever, and dogs make them nervous. So I urge all my listeners to get more dogs. Go to your local rescue more dogs. Anything to make these people uncomfortable is okay with me. In parts of the United States, we already see that in the UK as well, we already see that police are cracking down on dog owners that are walking their dogs where Muslims are because it makes them uncomfortable. And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Is this the world that we're in now? And how much longer are we going to put up with this bullshit? That's what I'm asking you, listeners out there. How much longer, Christians out there, how much longer are you going to put up with this shit, this turn the other cheek nonsense? Again, my pastor urged me to not be afraid. My pastor urged me to find common ground with the people that I oppose, that in the end, love wins. And I'm trying to heed that advice, but I'll be honest with you. I'm pushing back against this. Maybe love is the answer, but I find it hard to get along with people that take umbrage to literally my entire way of life. We got the wokies. They don't think that because I work hard that I should be able to live either a modest or an affluent life. They believe that, through my hard work that I should pay more taxes to kind of equally spread the honey around, if you will. We got a two-tier justice system here in Canada where if you preach the gospel, you can go to prison. But if you're grooming underage girls and you have a certain skin tone, well, you get a lighter jail sentence because it might affect your immigration status. And I'm talking about here in Canada, but it's not just happening here in Canada. It's happening all over the world, the UK as well. I saw a video the other day of Keir Starmer hugging the mayor of London and wants to make him a lord. Like, we are living in fucking crazy town, people. And these invaders, they are using, because that's what they are. Call me an Islamophobe, whatever you wish. But these invaders are using our system against us. And you got these liberal white women and liberal white men, cucks. They're like, oh, we gotta, we're a melting pot, and we gotta turn the other cheek, and we gotta accept these people. Meanwhile, these people are knife fighting, stabbing people. There's another stabbing in the United States. A kid at a school yelling Allahu Akbar, stabbing his classmates. But that's all okay, as long as they're not preaching the gospel. That's bad. But all this other stuff, and in some cases, it's almost like we're being told that we deserve it because we've lived so long as a reckless society that we have this coming. And sadly, there's enough people out there that are buying this bullshit. I'm not one of those people. And I'm ready to throw hands, both figuratively and literally. With this Bill C9 in Canada that's passed, I imagine that I'll probably have the people, the feds coming and knocking on my door at some point. That's pretty funny. And how will I handle that? Well, here, I got a surprise for him. Right there. That's my surprise. That's how I'm going to handle it. I live in a free country. I have the God-given right to freedom. I have the God-given right to life and liberty. And I don't care what the law says. I am going to defend my right, my God-given rights to life and liberty. I'm going to defend it wholeheartedly. I'm not scared to catch a case by any stretch of the imagination. This even my preacher today in Palm Sunday services lamented about that these bills that are being passed in many cases in throughout North America, they're not even a veiled attack on Christianity. They're an open, broad daylight attack on Christian values and Christianity. There's no doubt about it. Even the pastor said that. There's no doubt about it. And my question to my listeners out here is how much longer are we going to put up with this shit? How much longer are we going to let these elites dictate how we live our lives, when we live our lives, and what we're allowed to do and what we're not allowed to do? Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not looking for a lawless society where you do whatever the fuck you want, but you don't have to take the time travel machine back too far anywhere in the world to where it was just a better time for everyone concerned. Even the immigrants were having a better time. This constant war in the Middle East, displacing all these people. When you level Gaza, where do you think that these people are going to go? They have nowhere to go. So the ones that the state of Israel hasn't murdered yet, they're going to be displaced. The war in Iraq, they were displaced into Western Europe, into North America. Like it's to the tune of 60 or 80 million people have been displaced because of these Middle Eastern wars that these forever wars that the United States is getting into at the behest of the state of Israel. If you watch the Netanyahu tapes, that guy's in a lot of trouble, even in his own country. And conveniently, this warmongering that he keeps doing keeps him out of jail and out of trouble because there's laws in his country that you can't depose like a sitting prime minister in wartime. right? You can't lock him up because it's like he's got a war to win. So these endless wars that he keeps perpetrating are basically to keep him out of jail. I still think that I believe wholeheartedly that he has dirt on a lot of the American politicians. I have my doubts that he has anything that is really dirty on Donald Trump. Like we keep hearing about these tapes and these witnesses about him graping underage children. I don't really buy that. I don't know why I don't really buy it. I just don't. Excuse me. I just don't. But I think that there's enough dirt on all the people surrounding him that if it were to come out, all of it, the truth, that it would like literally collapse the system that he's a part of. Again, we talk about his AIPAC donors, the Jewish donors that basically funded his entire campaign, or the lion's share of it. Again, that Miriam Adelson, $250 million. This super pro-Israel donor gave to Donald Trump for for winning the election. And again, there's no such thing as a free ride. So this money comes with strings, and I believe that what we're seeing in the world with these bombings and stuff are the strings that are being pulled. I have a good friend of mine that after he watches my episode, he'll text me and he's like, "Fuck, have you lost the plot, man? Are you going woke?" And it's no, I'm not going woke by any stretch of the imagination. I'm not leaning left by any metric. But at the same time, I'm not going to lean right for the sake of just leaning Republican. I think that regardless of what flag you fly, that you should be able to call out bullshit and nonsense and terrible policies when you see them. As I've said in previous shows, I was deeply against Trump his first term. I thought it odd that that a mediocre TV personality wins the highest office in the land, arguably the world, heads the most significant military force in the world. I was dead against him in his 2016 presidency. After I seen what the Democrats did with Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, parading Joe Biden around until it was obvious to everybody that, that old bed shitter needed to be floated out to sea. And then they were just going to foist Kamala Harris, an equally useless, more cogent and cognitive, I'll give her that, but equally useless. And now rumor has it she's going to run for the presidency in 2028. I mean, that's scary shit. I don't think Trump is going to make it through the midterms. I've said that before. Unless by some miracle, and by miracle I mean some false flag or some orchestrated something or other happens in the lower 48 that will get the MAGA Republicans rallying around him like they did with George Bush and Iraq. I don't think he's going to make it past the midterms. He's gotten America into a war that the majority of people are opposing. He has in my opinion, no game plan. Again, my friend that watches these episodes, he talks about that. Oh yeah, he's smart. He's a businessman, and he never said this, but like I get the vibe that his supporters think that he's playing 4D chess, and I don't think he's an idiot. Um, I've discussed this with friends. I don't think that he's compromised per se, but I certainly think that he knows what the implications are of officials that go against Israel. I mean, JFK, Robert Kennedy. I mean, it goes on and on and on. You got to kiss the wall, otherwise, you're in peril. Trump has a big family, so I get it in the sense of, I would do whatever it takes to protect my family going into something like this, right? Especially if he's been threatened. I mean, Netanyahu's been all over TV going, the United States, they have no say. The war ends when IDF soldiers say that the war ends. And it's like, really? You dirty heeb? How about the funding stops? How about the American gravy train comes to a halt and you guys fight it out with your own people by yourselves and see what happens? I guarantee you that Iran will turn that place into a fucking parking lot overnight. I've heard rumors that the Russians have moved some nuclear submarines off the coast of Venezuela. That ain't a good sign. I've also seen evidence that Russia and China have aided Iran with intelligence. Russian satellites were taking satellite photos of U.S. bases in the Gulf Coast states and sharing that information with Iran. I believe it was the day before the attacks happened on some of these bases. In return, U.S. Israeli forces, I believe this afternoon or today, they bombed a huge oil refinery in Iran. So that, again, is going to make the markets unstable and raise the fuel prices some more. And I don't think anyone sees an end. I think, when you listen to Trump and read between the lines, I think that he realizes that it's time for him to pack up his toys and leave the sandbox. But I don't think that he's going to be able to do that as long as Netanyahu is pulling whatever strings it is that he's pulling. He's got that cock gobbler, Lindsey Graham, who flew to Israel and coached Netanyahu on how to convince Trump to fight in Iran. And Lindsey Graham has been all over the news as well, talking about that. Oh, I'm pro-Israel till the day I die, and I think that we should move soldiers into the region because, even the dumbest geopolitical brain knows that United States and Israel is not going to win a war with Iran by bombing and missiles. They have to move a ground offensive into the region in order to fulfill their objective. And, to my American friends, are you willing to send your brothers, sisters, sons, daughters again to the Middle East to spill their blood on foreign soil for something that really has no benefit to America or the Western world for that matter. Let's be honest with one another. If Iran turned Israel into a parking lot, how would that affect you and me? It wouldn't bother me in the slightest. And that doesn't mean that I'm pro-Hezbollah or the Iranian mullahs or whatever they're called. I'm not pro-terrorist. I'm getting the propaganda on my feed now. Oh, Iran lied. They now have missiles that can target major cities in Europe. Yeah, I don't doubt that that's what they're planning to do. Not saying that they're going to target major cities in Europe, but given the political climate in the world, I think that they'd be dumb not to get weapons that they can use to defend themselves. I mean, look at North Korea. Nobody's fucked with them. Why? Because they have nukes that can reach, that can reach America or other cities that fuck with them, right? It's, again, you don't want nukes in the hands of a nutburger, but Netanyahu apparently has 200 undocumented nukes, right? He's a nutburger, but it's okay for him to have them. But nobody else in the region can have them? That's just fucking ridiculous. Ridiculous in my opinion. Anyway, folks, that's where we're at in the world. Scary shit. But if you're a Christian and you read the Bible, God commands us not to be afraid. Do not be afraid, because in the end we win. And I believe that. I'm new to this religious thing, fairly new. I've always, in my heart of hearts, I've always believed in something bigger, whether you call that a god or I call that a god or some divinity or some external force. I've always believed that there's something bigger. Like, we're not just happenstance. I'm not sitting here in all my glory as a happenstance. There's something bigger. And I've been reading my Bible. I've been going to church for gosh sake. I'm not fully there yet in, love thy brother kind of thing. I am thankful that God has readied my hands for war and readied my fingers for battle. I think that that's where we're headed. And I'm okay with it. I'm ready for battle. Anyway, folks, as I said, we are officially entering Holy Week. Next Sunday is Easter Sunday. And I believe that's the end of Lent as we know it. I don't know if you've been following and giving up something for Lent. You don't have to tell me. I've given up a few things for Lent, and some of the things were harder to give up than others. I'll be honest with you. This week I'm gonna do the big push into Easter Sunday, and I mean, I'm a flawed human. I'm doing my best, and God has grace. God grants forgiveness for all my sins. Again, my pastor urges me to find love in my heart for my enemies, and I'm just not there yet. I cannot find love in my heart for my enemies, and I consider anyone my enemy that wishes my brothers and sisters whether it be peaceful Muslims or whether it be my Christian brother and sisters, I consider them my enemies. Anybody that brings hardship and danger to people like me that just want to live peacefully. I want to work hard. I want to be able to enjoy the fruits of my hard work. And everywhere we turn these days, it's somebody with their hands in your pockets or their hands on a pen that is exercising laws that strip us more and more of our freedom. For Christ, shouldn't use that word. For fuck's sake, I had something on my feed. It was regarding Canadian news, and I was going to share it on my page, and I got a warning that I cannot share this due to restrictions in Facebook. I cannot share this information in Canada. It's news about Canada that I can't share in Canada. And folks, I've had it up to here with this fucking bullshit. So I'm going into Holy Week. I'm trying my best. I'm reading my Bible. I'm saying my prayers. And come Easter Sunday, I'd like to think that I'm going to be a new person, but I'll be honest with you. I'm ready to lace up and saddle up and take care of business. We are living in crazy town, and sitting back and doing nothing is just not the answer anymore. Anyway, those are my thoughts, not yours. Thanks for tuning in. This episode was brought to you by 1868 Entertainment Group. And let me know what you think. Hit the subscribe button. Hit the like button. Give me some thoughts. Give me some criticisms. Again, these are my thoughts, not yours. And we will see you same time, same place next Sunday. See ya!
Yo, the curtain drops, watch the show unfold. Puppets on a string, ain't no truth to be told. From Carney up north to Trump in the White House, they all play the role while the shadows pull the strings, taking control. Secret societies, they laughing in the dark while we fighting against each other, they just feed the spark. Putin flexing hard, Zelensky keeping it real. Netanyahu's always lying, begging America, crying, what the fuck's the deal? Falling in the chaos, but they pulling the strings. Ain't no real leaders, just thugs and they bling. Keep us divided, that's the ultimate plot. No matter who's in charge, we all just puppets getting shot. Getting shot, getting shot, getting shot, getting shot, getting shot. Katy Perry kissed a girl while Trudeau's in the mix. Got her by speaking moistly while Canada's elbows down. Asses up, taking America's dick. Ooh, shit. Carney's always scheming, making moves in the dark while the world's distracted by his bullshit remarks. He whispering sweet, nothing's keeping the plot thick. Canada's his bitch bent over, this damn country's going to shit. Country's going to shit, shit, shit. We ballin'! We ballin' in the chaos, but they pulling the strings. Ain't no real leaders, just thugs and they bling. Keep us divided, that's the ultimate plot. No matter who's in charge, we all just puppets getting shot, getting shot, getting shot, getting shot. Who's in charge? We all just puppets getting shot, getting shot, getting shot, getting shot. Who's in charge? We all just puppets. From the left and the right, it's a puppet parade. While the rich keep us fighting, they just cash in the fade. All the world's a stage and we play our part, but the real masterminds just laughing at the yard. So wake the fuck up, stop playing the fool. They divide and conquer while we drown in the pool. We ain't gotta listen, rise up from the floor. Break the strings, burn the stage, we ain't taking no more. So when the curtain drops, we'll stand side by side. No more pulling the strings, we're done with this ride. In this Game of Thrones, we'll rewrite the script, cause together united we won't let it slip. We ballin' in the chaos, but they pulling the strings. Ain't no real leaders, just thugs and they bling. Keep us divided, that's the ultimate plot. No matter who's in charge, we all just puppets getting shot. charge? We all just puppets getting shot. Get shot. Who's in charge? We all just puppets getting shot.